It's time to move into the aforementioned terrible twos.
Bottom line.
Bum, bum, bum.
The bottom line.
Darth would say the final deuce.
The final deuce.
Does Darth have to go? Never mind. Go ahead.
He always has to go.
What is Rico going to call it, though?
The double down.
All right.
The double decker. The double down.
Not bad.
Double
Not bad.
I'm sticking
Both of
to
those
it.
names make me hungry.
Double down on the final deuce.
Yeah.
Okay.
Double decker.
Double decker.
Time
The
to
double
evacuate.
decker on the final deuce. Okay.
On
All
your
right, Tom,
bottom,
on a Saturday.
on your
Yep.
bottom line.
The upper decker. All right. So,
The outcome will not be pretty. Yes.
bottom line, final two questions of this episode before we move on and say goodbye to the Golden Girls. Isn't it sad they're all gone except for one?
I know.
And
Wow,
I was
that's
always
true,
very
huh?
happy that Rue McClanahan and Betty White were very big in the animal rights and animal welfare things,
Mhm.
you know, so I always had a special eye and a special heart for them. Anyway, only one left, and she's a national treasure, Miss Betty White.
Yes, she
Mhm.
is.
He is. He really is, huh?
Yeah, final two questions. Here we go. I mean, she played an old lady 35 years ago,
He's still there.
and she's still an old lady.
Nothing changed. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. Question number one. Mike trailblazes and leads the way for us.
Yeah.
The question is,
I
on a,
stall so that you guys can have time to think of what you're going to say.
right, on a scale of
That's
1 to
gonna take a
10,
good afternoon for me.
scale of 1 to 10, what would you give the Golden Girls first episode?
The pilot of the Golden Girls.
Right.
Named the pilot or the engagement,
Or the
depending on where you look. Of the Golden Girls, 1985. We're going way back
Mhm.
to 1985. I'll say this. The comedy was solid. The character development was great. You know exactly who these characters are going to be throughout the rest of the series. You know exactly what you're expecting for comedy, and it's good comedy, hilarious. And so with all those things considered, I think I'm going to have to give the Golden Girls, on a scale of 1 to 10, a 9.5.
Mm.
Understood.
Mm.
That's a favorable score.
Yeah.
Mm.
Let me take a quick check to see, is that the highest? I don't think that's the highest you've given. I remember you gave a...
I think I gave Raised by Wolves maybe a little bit higher, but
You gave,
it's
yeah,
one,
you're right.
it's one of my highest scores. Yeah,
Raised by wolves.
9.8 you gave Raised
Yeah.
by Wolves.
Raised by wolves.
Rico E. Anderson, who, by the way, gives us his Twitter handle as if anybody can see it. We're the only ones that can see that.
No.
It's
actually-
never miss an opportunity.
It's actually my Twitter and my Instagram handle.
Mhm.
And email address.
Ooh.
I am Rico
Hey.
Anderson. Please follow me.
Twitstagram.
Yes.
And your
Please follow me.
TikTok. Your
And my
TikTok.
Yeah.
So,
Actually, I don't know what my TikTok is. Sorry.
scale of 1 to 10?
Scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give it a solid 10 plus, man. Seriously, comedies back then they just.
This is Rico's favorite show of all time.
I'm going to say it's definitely up there in the top 10. They knew how to comedy. They knew what they were doing. They nailed it. And I did not see any flaws. And to me, it was a smooth running train from the beginning. And I think they executed it perfectly. Like I was saying in the beginning with having the author and then having Betty White, you got your two strong ones kicking it off, letting you know these two. And here they are. And now let's bring everybody in and really just give you some love. That's going to happen for, I don't even know how many seasons they went. So
7.
7 seasons of just killing it. Solid 10 plus.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
That is some high marks so far.
High praise, yeah.
We are at the highest so far we've ever done. I don't know if that's going to last because Darth is a harsh critic.
Love
He
it.
is. He gave something about Polly a 10, so you know Wait, something about Mary. Along came Polly.
Along
He
came-
gave
along
her
That's
came-
funny 'cause they're just a few years from each other.
Along
so it's
came
kinda-
something about Polly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So right there, you know,
Scale of
it's
1 to
Darth
10.
Chewie.
Darth Chewie.
You can talk
Man,
it
it's
out.
tough because it's solid, and all the performers are solid. The writing's solid, everything's so concise, so tight. But at the same time, it's bordering on like standard sitcom fare from the '80s. You know, it's like a 10 almost seems too high, but at the same time, like I feel like if I go lower, that it's not doing it justice. You know, like I'm grading it on a curve or something. Let's say 9.5, but make it a solid gold 9.5 for the
Solid gold.
Good. We'll make a note of the solid gold.
Yeah,
portion
mark
of
that in the book if you guys
Yeah,
don't mind.
the
Yeah.
solid. It's under the
9.5.
Here, let me write it
Parentheses,
down.
solid gold.
The
Not
solid
to be
gold
consi-
section.
Right. Not to be confused with the TV show Solid Gold.
Right.
Mm.
Solid golden. Okay.
All right,
So-
here we go, Ryan.
Come on, Mr.
God dang.
It's tough, huh?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with y'all
Great.
that I want to give it a point for every Golden Girl. Okay.
So you're going to give the show a 4?
Times 2.5.
Let me get my calculator out real quick.
I know. Like,
Because when I was watching it, I was like, this is from the gate, from second one,
The
with
word
the
go.
song, and then from the first bits of dialogue and the acting, the writing, throughout. I was shocked. I was blown away, and I kept rewinding parts. This was like not just a perfect pilot, but like a 10. Now I want to knock it down, or I don't want to, but I feel like I should knock it down to a 9.5 or a 9 because of Coco, because I thought, it was kind of a useless character and it was weird and we didn't understand. Is he their friend? Is he their roommate? Is he their servant? I don't understand.
Yeah, that was really bizarre.
He was so out of place, but then to find out that they made up for that mistake by just getting rid of him. So it was probably like the executives at the top that said, you got to have something, or whatever. I don't know.
You can't own gays.
But
Sorry,
they do.
but you can't own a gay.
Yeah, or people named Coco.
okay.
They made up for their mistakes. They get points for that. But you know what? Rather than going with my mind, which gives it a 9.5, I'm going to go with my heart and say this show deserves a 10. So I am going to give my first 10, maybe ever,
Wow.
because it is. I think whatever I Love Lucy did in the 50s for women in comedy, I think these guys did at least that for women in comedy in the 80s. I mean, it's just blown away. They deserve a 10. That's it, in my
All right.
opinion.
Ryan T. Husk, another first.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
speaking of first, we watched the first episode for the purposes of this podcast. Now that the podcast is over and you're free to move about the internet, would you watch the second episode, Michael?
I have, and I would again. Actually, my wife and I, we watched the entire series about a year or two ago. Like, we always like to have a show that we can watch while we're going to sleep, because my wife needs to watch TV to go to sleep. I can't, so I have to watch whatever show that we're watching. And so I like to have a show that I would enjoy. And so we tried the Golden Girls, and obviously, as we all know by just watching this pilot, it was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And so we kept watching it. I watched the entire series, and so it's solid throughout, minus a couple clip shows, obviously.
Oh.
Yeah.
The 80s just loved to do those clip shows.
90s did it too, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they're probably still doing it to this day.
Next Generation did it. Star Trek Next Generation.
No. Oh,
Yeah, in the
God,
second
that's disappointing.
It was like the end of the first season or beginning of the second season, so they didn't even have a lot of clips to
Right.
work with. What was
the
it called?
hell? They're
Diego?
desperate.
The Riker clip show where he kept going, "Something's got me." I hate it so much.
He had that virus in him, or that bug, or something.
What was it called though? I always ask this, and people always know, and I always forget what it's called.
Wouldn't it be great if we had a way of finding out?
Yeah, if only there was some kind of device that we're
Next
working on
gen
right now.
clips episode.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
maybe one day
Rico.
they'll invent it.
Now that you're done here, would you watch the second episode while Michael finds our episode?
Well, first of all, I want to say that I love the whole watching a show as you go to sleep because, like my dad used to say, I'm going to watch the TV until the TV watches me. So,
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
yeah. So,
She's always watching you.
Exactly. Always. Yes, I would. If streaming, if we had the technology today that we had back in '85, I would be waiting with bated breath for the next week episode because I really enjoyed the pilot, and this would definitely be one of the shows that I would be like, I don't know if it came on Thursdays. Thursdays can't come soon enough. So yes,
You have to set your VCR.
yeah, set my VCR and hope it doesn't break down or anything. Mom, you didn't set the.
Mom, I missed the last 10 minutes.
Yeah. No, I'll never see it.
Never.
Ever. Yeah. So,
Shades of Grey. To answer
That's
your
the one,
question.
yeah, Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay. So yes,
I always want to
would-
call
I
it
would
Skin of
definitely
Evil,
watch it.
but that's Armus.
Yeah.
Skin of Evil.
Anyway, so yes,
Yeah.
from Rico.
Yes.
Nice.
Most definitely.
Darf?
Yes.
Franklin? Schiavo?
Short
Shooter?
answer, yes. But I will say, watching the pilot, I felt like I've seen definitely a good handful, probably more episodes of Golden Girls, and I remember watching the pilot thinking, man, I feel like this was the plot of like every episode I saw. It was always like Blanche, or maybe it was one of the girls was involved with a guy, and the other ones had some kind of issue with him or something like that. I feel like that was every single episode I saw. I was that plot.
Hmm.
It's not, but
Okay, yes, Mike would know.
that is like there are a good handful of those, but that's not every episode.
I mean, how much hijinks could four old ladies get into?
Yeah, serious.
You'd
7
be
years ago.
surprised.
Tune in next week
Hey, they're in Miami, so
Yeah, anything gonna happen.
in Miami.
Yeah.
Sucker.
Okay. Oh, and also the thing that made me want to go down to a 9.5 was that a little bit of the humor, like one or two things was a little outdated, but I forgive it because it's 80s. But anyway, I'm still sticking with the 10.
I was wondering that if anybody's be offended, if there's any people that are like really sensitive that might be offended by some of the
Sure, I would think
dated
so.
jokes.
There were a couple.
Could be.
Okay, so would I watch the second episode? This is actually tougher than I thought it would be because it's a great show, but I almost kind of figure okay, I enjoyed it. I had my fun. I can kind of just put it in a little Russian egg. What are those Russian egg?
Nestling dolls.
nesting dolls.
Fabergé egg, I was thinking.
Fabergé.
Anyway, put in that little thing and just put it in my little heart and keep it there forever as this,
Hey,
item.
Sasha Kerbal, if you're watching, tell us what that Russian egg is.
By the way, I will say Sasha Kerbal was the one that recommended we watch this. So this one is for you, Sasha. That's why it's perfect that you're here, Rico. Thanks for reminding us.
No problem. That's what
I
I'm
almost forgot that.
Shout out to
But
Sasha Kerbal.
sure, yes, I would. Overall, yes.
All right,
Yell.
4 for
Don't-
4.
Don't yell at Sasha.
Woohoo!
We did it, guys.
We
4
did
for
it.
4. Maybe we should just do a podcast where we review every Golden Girls episode.
I know, man. I know.
Except for the clip shows.
Yeah. And remember that one time. No, honestly, I literally want to go back. This is a show that I could binge.
It stands up, actually.
I would want to. I could see myself just binging a whole bunch of Golden Girls.
That's because you have a ton of mirrors everywhere. Hey,
They're step and repeats, but
yeah.
something during this pandemic.
Now I forgot what I was going to say because I was too busy thinking of that dumb joke.
You gotta know.
Oh, yeah.
Mental multitask.
Clip show. If we review every episode of the Golden Girls as a podcast, when they do a clip show, rather than reviewing the clip show, we just do our own clip show. We teach them a lesson by doing our own clip show of
Hey,
our own
remember
podcast.
that one episode where
Remember that time?
Clip show of a clip show.
Yeah.
Remember when
Anyway.
Rico and Darth were on and we reviewed the first episode?
So to
That was awesome.
Yeah. So to the viewers, if you want us to have a podcast that reviews the Golden Girls, let us know
Ryan's
in the
like,
comments.
Ryan's like, another podcast? Ugh.
I mean,
Let us know in the comments below.
it seems like a lot of fun, and I would love to do it, but
Let us know in the comments, but then also give us a
Please
lot of
don't.
money so that we can do it.
Yeah.
and a lot of likes, and share this video, and make sure you and your friends subscribe, and let us know what you'd like us to review, as well as the Golden Girls. WTF, All in the Family. That sounds terrible.
You know.
Anyway,
WTF, empty
You want-
nest.
You want to talk about a show?
Golden Palace.
yeah,
Golden Palace.
Sounds kind of dirty. I don't know.
yeah. I was thinking that too, but I didn't want to. I wanted to leave that alone.
Yeah, I want to go there.
Let's move on. Move along home. And we want to thank Darth Shuey for joining us and for being so cool and funny
Yeah.
and for never eating food.
How's this guy
Always-
pudgy? He doesn't eat anything.
Always
'cause he
drinking
was-
coffee.
That's because he was running to the bathroom to get rid of it.
And thank you to Rico E. Anderson for being funny and also funny.
Wow.
But also, I want to point out, funny.
Yeah, not only is Rico funny, but he's also, well, yeah, he's funny.
But would you watch my
Mostly.
second episode?
Oh, yeah. But you need better writers, but otherwise.
Okay, well, you know.
You know.
All
You're
right.
going to pick from the crop there.
It's a
Hey,
decent
guys.
cast, yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Appreciate you.
Now,
Appreciate
the
you.
last thing we have to say is that this podcast was memorable, not just because of the friends we made along the way that we've known for a long time, but because we reviewed possibly the best first episode that
Yeah.
we've ever reviewed,
Yeah.
and it made
Ever
me very happy.
This podcast was a friend and a confidant.
This
Rico?
Darth?
This episode was an enjoyable 20 minutes. I don't know. No, it was a great show.
After editing. This episode makes you want to invite everyone you knew.
You would see the biggest gift would be from me.
And the couch was there. All right.
Thank you for. That's the only part
Text
I know.
sings the Golden Girls theme song. You know what? It was a wonderful feel good, and it's always wonderful.
I love wonderful feel goods.
It feels good.
So we got to close out. We got to say goodbye. We got to move on. Everybody stay tuned next week when we review.
Some
Well, I
other
guess-
show.
That's up to you
Something.
guys to decide what we review
Whatever it
next
is.
week. Let us know. And before we go, just always remember what Michael Kenyon Rosenberg always likes to teach us.
Don't forget to watch the first of the Golden Girls. If you haven't done it, seriously, do it.
Reals.
That's what he always says.